At the end of one of my presentations in which I laid out the case that tax rates would likely have to double in the next 10 years to keep our country solvent, a lady came up to me and said, "Thanks a lot, Dave. Now I'm in a really bad mood." "Why are you in such a bad mood?" I asked. She said, "Because I have all my money in the tax-deferred bucket." She had accumulated the lion's share of her assets in 401ks and IRAs and had essentially lost hope. Now, you may likewise be in a bad mood because you have all of your retirement savings squirreled away in tax-deferred vehicles like 401ks and IRAs. But I'm here to tell you that you've actually played your cards perfectly. You see, when you contributed money to your IRA and 401k, you likely did so at a period in time when tax rates were higher than they are today, and you got a deduction at those higher rates for doing so. Now you're in a position where you can take advantage of historically low tax rates to get those tax-deferred assets repositioned to tax-free. Remember, paying a tax is the cost of admission to get into the tax-free bucket. You can pay those tax rates at today's rates or postpone those taxes until some point much further down the road, where experts predict those tax rates could be twice as high. But here's the great news. Once you pay the cost of admission, your money grows tax-free for the rest of your life. But the question becomes, how long will these historically low tax rates last? Traditional thinking says that tax rates will revert back to 2017 levels starting in 2026, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen. Here's why. If tax rates were to revert back to those higher rates for the middle class, the 22% would become 25 and the 24% would become 28. That would be perceived as a tax increase by voters, and no politician wants to go on record as having raised taxes on the single largest voting bloc in America. So here's what Congress is likely to do. Sometime between now and 2026, they're going to extend the Trump tax cuts on the middle class for another 8 years. So if you're in the current 24% tax bracket or lower, you'll be able to take advantage of those low rates for another 8 years beyond the year in which they extend those cuts. And if that were to happen, and again, I think it's likely, it would give you an 8-year window of opportunity within which to take advantage of historically low tax rates. And this may be the most important 8-year window of your life, given where experts say tax rates are likely to go in the year 2030 and beyond. Citing out-of-control spending on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and interest on the debt, former Comptroller General of the federal government, David Walker, has predicted that tax rates will have to double in or around the year 2030. So think about the opportunity that lies before you. Take money for which you likely got a deduction at 25 or 28%, slowly shift that money into your tax-free bucket and pay only 22 or 24%. And then by the time 2030 or 2032 roll around and tax rates rise dramatically, you will have done all the heavy lifting and can then take that money out 100% tax-free. As a reminder, you want to shift your money slowly enough that you don't rise into a tax bracket that gives you heartburn, but quickly enough that you get all the heavy lifting done before tax rates go up for good. And the main centerpiece of your asset shifting plan should be the 24% tax bracket, which is the gem of the 2018 Trump tax cuts. It's one of the greatest sweet spots in the history of sweet spots. You see, there's a good chance you're currently in the 22% tax bracket. And if that's the case, it makes sense to Roth convert to the top of the 22% tax bracket. By the way, the 24% is only 2% more, and it allows you to shift another $170,000 per year, and it only costs you 2% more on the margin. Here's another reason why you'll love the 24% tax bracket. The current version of the 24% tax bracket is still better than the future version of the 22% tax bracket, which is the 25% tax bracket. And if you don't take advantage of the 24% tax bracket, it reverts back to the 28% tax bracket when all these tax cuts expire. So every year that goes by where you fail to take advantage of the 22 and 24% tax brackets is potentially a year beyond 2030, assuming they extend the Trump tax cuts, when you could be forced to pay the highest tax rates you're likely to see in your lifetime. In summary, these historically low tax rates are likely to last another 8 or so years before they rise dramatically to pay for unfunded obligations like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. So take advantage of the next 8 years to preemptively pay taxes on your retirement assets so that by the time tax rates potentially double, you've done all the heavy lifting and can withdraw those assets 100% tax-free. If you need help repositioning your tax-deferred assets to tax-free over the course of the next 8 years, be sure to check out my tax-free toolkit. You can download it for free at taxfreetoolkit.com. If you're a financial professional and want to learn how to become a certified Power Zero advisor, head over to powerzero.com and opt into a free 3-part video series. By the way, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them into the comment section below. I respond to every single one of them personally. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a video. This is David McKnight. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.